Hello all my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. If this is indeed the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa and I and I have dedicated my psychic abilities to helping you gain more clarity, heal yourself, as well as become the person you've always dreamt of being. And today's pick a card reading is dedicated to any of you who have hit a dead end or a plateau. You're feeling kind of down and out, maybe demotivated, and you're not sure how to move forward and how to grow out of this situation. So in today's readings, we are delving deep into your psyche and figuring out exactly what your blockages may be and also how you can remove those blockages and move forward with a renewed sense of self. And in order to uncover all the information that you need to receive, I have prepared 4 groups that you can choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. So just pick whichever one of these groups that you feel intuitively drawn towards. If you can't make up your mind between 2 or more groups, do know that your personal reading could be a mixture between multiple groups. So don't be shy to watch more than one reading as long as it serves you. So the 4 groups that I have prepared for you today are as follows. Group number 1 corresponds to the Gaia Oracle as well as the Orange Calcite. Group number 2 corresponds to the Whispers of Healing Oracle as well as the Red Jasper. Group number 3 corresponds to the Pastel Journey Tarot deck as well as the Black Tourmaline. And group number 4 corresponds to the Green Witch Oracle as well as the Pyrite. But the timestamps to all 4 groups can be found down below in the description box as well as pinned to the top of the comment section for quick, easy access. So all you need to do is click your timestamp and you'll be fast forwarded to the relevant part of this video. So I'm about to get into the readings, but I just want to point out to you that these readings are a little longer and very detailed, so make yourself comfortable, get yourself a nice cup of tea, hot chocolate, a little snack, so we can simply vibe together and you can take in all of this information and make the most of it. After all, that's what my channel is here for. I will now also provide you with a little moment of privacy to meditate on the 4 groups so you can choose whichever one that you feel truly speaks to you. So at this point in time, I hope that you're excited to get into your reading and that you can't wait to receive the messages from one of these 4 groups that you've had your eye on and that you know is meant for you. So I will be starting off the readings with the first group, which corresponds to the Gaia Oracle. So if this is the group that you chose, please continue watching. And to all of my other beautiful groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Gaia Oracle deck in conjunction to the Orange Calcite crystal. Let's first do a close-up of your stone. This is the beautiful Orange Calcite. This is a truly invigorating stone that helps revitalize you and bring more energy into your life. So if you're looking for a crystal to carry around with you that does just that, I truly need to point you towards the Orange Calcite. But let's move into your reading to figure out everything that you need to hear and everything that you need in order to heal. So first up, we've got evolution as well as apprehension. Uh-oh, group number 1, you're getting called out right from the get-go. It seems as though someone is a little apprehensive about changes, apprehensive about transformation. I can definitely see here in apprehension that there is some doubt. There are some deep-rooted and deep-seated fears within you. You're thinking to yourself, whether you're ready or not for evolution, for change, for things to truly be different in your life, just look at this expression that we have here. It is lost in thought, but it also looks a little bit unsettled and a little bit fearful, right? A little bit like, oh, I'm not really sure if I'm cut out to be this person. But I can see here within evolution that there are definitely some changes that lie ahead of you that you know must become a part of your path if you want to truly be happy with your journey. And you will have to step out of your shell. You will have to step out of being in hermit mode, just simply protecting yourself and put yourself out there and be open to evolution and who you become next. And there is such a thing as fear of success. There is really such a thing as fear of growth. And it's probably one of the most embarrassing things to admit. So let me be the first one to admit that I've been there as well, group number 1. I know exactly how I need to eat in order to feel healthy and also to feel like I have a lot of energy, but I've sabotaged myself in the past by eating things that are not so healthy, right? By making those choices that are not kale salad, but pizza. And I've also known that, okay, I need a daily practice of yoga and meditation that would allow me to be my best self. But in the past, I have definitely had this fear of who I would become for some reason if I did those things on a daily basis. And it takes a lot to overcome fear of success, and it's very hard to explain because I think a lot of people don't understand, or they think it's only procrastination or only lack of discipline. But there's also a little fear of what life will be like when you get there, right? When you become this person you've always wanted to be, will there be more pressures? Will there be more responsibility on your shoulders? There are all of these questions that you can't answer until you're there. So sometimes procrastinating your own evolution and growth is something that you may end up doing. Next up, we've got healing, group number 1. So everything that you need to hear, it definitely also has to do with reconnecting with your true nature. And the universe is speaking right to us. Ooh, I am sorry for things being a little bit overlit. It seems as though the universe and your angels, they're all here within your reading. They're telling you, hey, this all works together. Apprehension, evolution, and healing. First comes apprehension, then comes the evolution. Once you've given up the resistance and you've given up trying to hold back these next important steps that you clearly need to take. And once you have overcome that fear and you simply let go of the need to control, we have healing. We have you reconnecting with your true nature. Because when you're in a space of stagnation, which is really what apprehension is, when you're there for too long, it's almost like you start to grow roots, group number 1. It's almost like there are some cobwebs forming around you and you can't feel comfortable in that space. You know you need a little bit of movement going on. You know that the only thing that is assured in life is definitely growth, change, and evolution. So you need to be a part of that for healing to happen. You need to be a part of change in order to be able to reconnect with your true nature. Nothing in this world is permanent or lasts forever. And this is the nature of life and the nature of this planet. So become a part of it rather than fear it, because you are part of nature, group number 1. Remind yourself of that, and you are meant to deal with these types of ups and downs and evolution. You were made for this, okay? So never feel as though you weren't made for change or evolution. Next up, we've got the 9 of Hearts. So in the 9 of Hearts, I can see fulfillment and harmony as well as protection. The 9 of Hearts is a really great card to show up here within your reading, especially as we were just talking about healing being the outcome. As soon as you overcome this fear of, oh, well, what if I am wildly successful? What if I truly do grow as much as I hope to grow? So the 9 of Hearts does show here that harmony and protection is what you can expect once more healing has set in your life. If things right now are chaotic, or you feel as though there is a lot of suffering still in your life, it is because healing has been delayed, okay? Evolution has been delayed. Transformation hasn't been wholeheartedly embraced by you, and it is time for you to finally do so. I can see here within the perched bird that it's as though you've been like waiting for the news, like waiting for the green light to do the next big thing, waiting for the green light to be great, almost, group number 1. And I really don't want this reading to be like a lot of calling you out, but at the same time, I want to be honest with you, because I want you to take as much information and value out of your reading as you possibly can into your daily life. And I want to be truthful with you every step of the way rather than just tell you what you want to hear. So in the perched bird, you can't wait for that perfect moment, group number 1. It is simply not going to come. There is no such thing as a perfect green light to start a business or to put yourself out there when dating, or, for example, to change your jobs. There is no perfect moment for you to take the leap of faith and try something new. Maybe try putting yourself out there on the internet, displaying some of your artwork, some of your hobbies, the things that you love to do. you will simply have to get uncomfortable and step into the spotlight in a way that, yeah, it's not easy, and it will definitely require some courage from your side. But it is important for you to not be afraid, and also to remind yourself here in the cat that some two-faced friends will be revealed, and this is something that you want to happen. Group number 1. I know a lot of people, they are shocked, they are sad when friends or family end up revealing that they're actually two-faced. But you want this to happen, and the more you're authentic and the more you focus on your healing, the more you engage with your own personal evolution and transformation, the more you will find that two-faced friends and people reveal themselves, because they kind of feel threatened, and they kind of liked who you were when you were more apprehensive and more afraid of the change and the leveling up and the stepping up. So why I'm saying that this is really great is because then you know their true colors, you know how they really feel about you leveling up, and you know who is really there 100% in support of you and who you can truly trust, and that gives you more security. It's way better to have a smaller group of people, but a very pure friend circle, a very pure circle of people who you know truly want what's best for you, rather than a large group of people who are kind of like hot and cold, who you don't truly know would stand behind you if there was a difficult situation. So keep that in mind here, that it's actually a blessing when someone reveals their true nature and their true colors. I can see here in the barking dog that advice from a friend can help you as well. So be open to talking to a friend who you know you can trust and opening up to a family member. It can be very hard to actually be that person who asks for help, okay? And especially if you're an empath and you're someone who always offers other people a shoulder to cry on or a helping hand, it can feel really strange, out of place, and difficult to then turn around, you know what I mean, group number 1, and be that person who actually needs help themselves for once. So do know here within the barking dog that it is completely okay for you to need help. It does not make you a burden. It does not make you weak. It actually shows true strength when you can be real about the help that you need, or maybe extra support that you would appreciate. In the vase, on a completely different note, I can see a secret admirer. I can see someone who is kind of low-key in love with you, group number 1, and they really like your vibe, your style, the way you look, the way you sound, the way you smell. They like everything about you. So do know here within the vase that they're coming to this realization as well, that there is no perfect moment to ask you out or to talk to you or to deepen that connection, and that they simply have to get over the fact that you probably haven't even noticed that they're into you, and that they need to make the first move in order for you to even understand that they exist, or they've been looking at you in that type of romantic way. I can see here within the parrot that it's important for you here with this two-faced friend to not give them any second chances, okay, to not share any deep secrets when it comes to people who have revealed their true colors and their true face. And that's the only way that you can heal, because one thing about healing and one thing about your evolution, group number 1, I can see it has to do with, for good, turning your back on people. And with people, I don't mean people as in everyone. Okay, let's not get that twisted or wrong, group number 1. With turning your back on certain people, I mean people who have already hurt you time and time again, who have abused your trust, your love, your time, and your integrity, and people who have already spoken about you behind your back in a way that isn't favorable, or people who make comments about your dreams, about your goals that are not supportive, and they try to play it off as a joke, but it's really not. And group number 1, behind every joke, there is a little bit of truth. Your reading is about everything you need to hear, but also everything you need to heal. And what you need is to remove, to extract any kind of rotten eggs, any type of friends who aren't really friends. Okay, you have to get rid of the frenemies. You have to get rid of the people who low key are kind of happy to see you fail, and low key or maybe high key have been rude to you, rude to your face, have not respected you or ridiculed you and spoken badly about you behind your back. And even if it's just a feeling that you have, your intuition isn't wrong. I can see here within the vine that it's important for you to seek out information that will help you moving forward. The vine is all about learning to help yourself. The vine is all about, once you know the truth about certain people, to learn how to support yourself, whether that be through therapy, talking to a professional, writing and journaling, or finding other ways in which you can strengthen yourself mentally in order to not allow for difficult situations with other human beings to affect you long term or to bring you down. I can see here in the bridge, group 1, you're successfully going to overcome any of these issues, but it's important for your healing journey to not continuously expose yourself to people who hurt you. And that can also be a romantic partner that has repeatedly cheated on you or lied to you or made you feel like you're not worthy of love. Like, you have to get out of those toxic situations. You have to successfully overcome that problem in order to heal. And sometimes it's almost as though it's like a vicious cycle or addictive, especially if it's a family wound or pattern. And you know, parents in your family never really give children words of encouragement and always kind of put them down. Or maybe you're just used to relationships where you're with someone who cheats or who is just not completely honest with you. So it does then feel like you're changing who you are completely. And while you know in your rational mind that you don't deserve this, it can be so hard to actually overcome it because physically you're kind of wired to thinking it's okay or to evaluating yourself as worthy of this, right? If not, you wouldn't have put yourself in that situation in the first place. But group 1, the amazing news is that you can pull yourself out of it, that you can change things for yourself, that you don't have to remain the same person. That's not the purpose of life. The purpose of life is evolution, is to grow, is to change, is to transform, and to grow with people who are doing the same. And having friends who don't grow in the same direction, that is the best thing, because then you get to watch their growth in different directions, but you still have that thing in common that is growth, right? You still have in common that you support one another on your journeys and that you love to see each other grow. But the most important thing is that you are growing. Anyone who is addicted to stagnation, drama, and gossip, you have to get rid of them. For some reason, group number 1, like your angels and your guides are very heavily basing this first part of your reading that we've had so far on you letting go of a toxic relationship and toxic bond that is not allowing you to heal because the band-aid continues to get ripped open. So it's very important for you to remove yourself from a situation where that is even a possibility so that you can heal, so that you can take care of yourself, okay? There is nobody or no relationship that is worth your inner peace being sacrificed. So we've got a reflection card for you. Let's figure out what it says, group number 1. So let's see. There we go. I lied and said I was busy. I was busy, but not in a way most people understand. I was busy taking deeper breaths. I was busy silencing irrational thoughts. I was busy calming a racing heart. I was busy telling myself I am okay. Britton Oakman. It's okay to take time for yourself every day. What is your favorite way to practice self-care on a regular basis? Why is it your favorite? Group number 1, feel free to answer those last questions in the comment section, to share that with others, or even to leave a little sun emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you are still here at this point in your reading and that you understand that it's okay for you to take time for yourself every single day and to cancel plans if your mental health feels like what it really needs is time spent alone. What it really needs is for you to take care of yourself, to take some deep breaths, to be busy silencing irrational thoughts. And I'm saying this in a way as though you've made plans that you did truly want to follow through on. Don't make plans with people that you already know you don't want to follow through on. Group number 1, okay? So I mean, when you make plans, you did truly, honestly, sincerely want to follow through on them, but then you realize it's just all too much, right? And you're sacrificing what little spare time that you have, just keeping up plans or upholding plans that don't really give you all that much value, because what would truly give you value is actually taking time for yourself rather than feeling like you have to stick to dinner plans or lunch plans or just a meeting that you had scheduled in. Next up, we've got an affirmation card for you. Let's see what it says. Remember always that you not only have the right to be an individual, you have an obligation to be one. Set a small goal for your day. Yes, group number 1. One of the best things that you can do for yourself on a daily basis is to set small goals and achieve them. That is the best feeling. I do truly love to use the Fabulous app, and this video isn't sponsored, but Fabulous has sponsored other videos of mine, and I think I have it in one of my videos description box where you can download Fabulous at a discounted rate. So I would definitely recommend that you try out that app, because it helps you set little goals every day. It helps you stay motivated. It helps you truly feel like you're accomplishing big things, even if it's just something small, such as waking up and drinking water, taking a shower, making yourself feel good every day through meditation, some movement. You can personalize your daily routine using that app, and I just love how encouraging that it is and how in alignment with these types of vibes that the Fabulous app is. So this is not sponsored, but it is just genuinely an app that I love to use and I would highly recommend. So make sure that you do check it out, group number 1, if you're interested in that. But if you're not an app person, you can set small goals and also journal them. If you're into bullet journaling, there are a lot of great YouTubers out here who help you set up a monthly bullet journal that also has like a goal list section where you can make a list, and every single day you can mark off your goals, whether it's taking your vitamins, whether it's eating a fruit a day, a vegetable a day, whatever your starting point is, group number 1, it is valid. And accomplishing a little goal every day and multiple small goals every day, it helps build confidence, and it also helps show you here that change is something that happens gradually and beautifully, that there's nothing to be apprehensive about if you're growing as a person into a direction that you can feel proud of and into a direction that is really authentic to the type of person that you would be really proud to be. So group 1, think of the type of person you've always dreamt of being. That person most likely has some sort of strong morning routine, right? They get up, they brush their teeth, they shower, they drink, they work out, they eat healthily, whatever that routine contains, maybe all of the above, but they most likely have something that keeps them on track. So in order to become that person, you will have to do that as well. And yes, it can be scary, but you can do it, group number 1, and you definitely need to hear that. And if I'm that person to tell you that you can do it, then that's already one more person in your corner that is giving you support and courage. The Page of Swords, it does show me here that switching your mindset, as the suit of swords is the suit of communication, it is the suit of the mental realm. It does speak to how you're thinking, how you're communicating with yourself, as well as how you're communicating to the world about the things that you desire and how much you believe in yourself, how much you think that you can accomplish great things, group number 1. So do know here in the Page of Swords that you will have to go through a very significant mindset shift and change in order to get to that next level of healing and feeling good about your life. And again, group number 1, I want to be like that big sister, that auntie, that person who tells you the truth in a way that is real, rather than just sugarcoating everything to the point where you feel like, oh, well, I don't need to change anything. And no, group number one, I'm not telling you to change who you are at all. I'm telling you that you still have untapped potential and a lot of healing that can be done if only you let go of the need to control and you let go of fear having such a strong foothold in your life and with your decisions. I do see here in the Ten of Wands that a break is also needed from you, group number one. And I mean a break as in not feeling like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders or on your back, and having a little bit of time where you just don't have any responsibilities. Because if you have a job where a lot of people depend on you showing up, if you play an important role in a family, whether you are a mother, a father, whether you are someone's emotional crutch, and you can be that as a child or have been that for a very long time, especially if you have parents who are emotionally very needy. I mean, it doesn't really matter what age you're at or what point in life you're at. Your responsibilities or your sense of how big of a task that you have to complete day in and day out can still be immense, So I definitely don't want to discriminate there, because while there are so many parents out there who watch my videos who have the weight of the world on their shoulders every single day, and I definitely send you all of my respect for that. There are also other situations where it can feel like, you're just being suffocated by a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things that you need to do, people looking up to you, counting on you. You have to have a little bit of time to decompress and take an actual deep clearing breath, group number one. You can't survive like this. This is not a good way to live. So definitely organize a few days for yourself where you're not at work, you're not answering emails, you're not in contact with people who count on you all the time. You've put them in a safe space, whether it's your pets, whether it's your people, your kids, whoever that is, and simply take time away from the world for yourself. As I can see here in the Page of Cups, that you have a lot of creativity that you can tap into and that has just been waiting to be nurtured. I mean, just look at this cute expression that we have here, the cute type of energy of this excitement. Like, yes, you're finally painting again. You're finally making music again. You're finally creating and being artsy again. If you've not given yourself time to indulge in some art, and it's just for the heck of it, okay? It's just for the fun. It's just to be in a flow state. It's not about being the next Picasso or Da Vinci or the next Mozart or anything like that. It's just fun. I mean, I'm not a great painter, but I love to sit down and simply draw or paint something just for myself. I can see here within the Death card, group number one, that everything that you need to hear and everything that you need to heal has to do with an ending of where you're currently at and moving forward to a completely different cycle and phase in your life. So the Death card is actually a positive card. It very rarely signifies an actual death, so don't be afraid of that. I know the Death card can seem daunting, especially if you're watching one of these readings for the very first time, but I want you to know here in the King of Cups that it's basically about a journey from you starting off as the page, starting off as, kind of inexperienced, not really knowing what you want to do, feeling small, but nevertheless, you're motivated. You have hobbies and things that you're good at and that fuel your creativity. And then we have the King of Cups, who kind of is very much the leader, who very much knows where they're headed in life, who has things seemingly figured out. I mean, the King of Cups still has things that they can figure out as well, of course, but they are fairly happy with themselves and where they're at in their life. And this is definitely a beautiful kind of journey or transformation that I see for you, that I can see as a result of your healing, but you're definitely the one who is going to give yourself permission to do so. And the first step is being unafraid of change and transformation and evolution in order to kind of get to that first stage of healing. Then we have getting rid of these cats and parrots, right? These kind of like two-faced friends, because those are the ones who are holding you back from feeling like you're ready to finally take the leap, right? Because when you're surrounded by people who are already kind of expecting you to fail or waiting to say, I told you so, it can be very hard to take leaps of faith. You need people who are supportive, who take leaps of faith all the time, and where if something doesn't work out, it's fine. Nobody is looking at you as a lesser person. So that is then what's next up. You also have this situation here with a secret admirer. With the Page of Swords, I can see here that they may have strong air sign energy. So think Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini energy, and they're maybe kind of younger than you, either in age or just emotionally. Especially if you're an old soul, it can be hard to actually be more mature than you, no matter the age of a potential partner. We had this sweet treat card that popped right out of the pile as we were talking about your secret admirer. So group 1, do you know here that they are definitely someone who seems to be like a sweet treat for you, group number 1. This is a very sweet romance. They are definitely going to reveal themselves at one point or another, and whether you're in a relationship or not at that point, you're going to find this to be a really sweet reminder that you are attractive, that there are people out there who would love to be surrounded by you, and that there are a lot of people who truly value you as a human being, internally, externally, and just overall. Like, that validation is just such a human thing to, of course, appreciate. I can see here in making an altar that that is one of the things that you need in order to heal, making yourself a little space where you can do your ritual every single day. So an altar can have photos of things that you love. It can have a photo of some sort of god. It could be a deceased pet or loved one you may want to connect with a lot, a mentor. You can have candles, crystals, little figurines or ornaments. You can put incense on your altar. You can put fresh flowers. You can put elements such as water or earth there to represent elements that you want to connect with. You can also represent all of the elements on your altar. There's so many different ways how you can make an altar, and you can continue to change it, but it's definitely important that it's a little physical thing, group number 1, that it's not like a altar you're just making up in your head or envisioning. So it doesn't have to be expensive or anything fancy, but your altar should definitely be something that you put together with a few physical gestures that you can meditate at, that you can look at every day, and that can connect you to your highest self. Next up, we've got your intuition. So group number 1, your intuition is much needed, of course, on this journey of healing and becoming the highest version of yourself. So I definitely want you to know here that intuition also has a lot to do here with what we spoke about, with you taking time for yourself every day, and maybe even needing to cancel plans or meetings because you simply need that alone time. You need that me time. You need time to recharge. So follow your intuition on it, because there are definitely times where I went against my intuition and I still stuck to plans that I had made because I felt obligated to, and something happened when I was out there. Like, I either almost got in like an accident, I got spooked by something, I just overall found that the situation did not turn out in a very favorable way, or that person canceled on me last minute. So follow your intuition with that and don't go against it, because you truly will end up regretting it. And sometimes it can be quite disastrous what can happen when we go against our intuition. Next up, we've got spending time with animals. So group 1, an amazing way to heal yourself is spending time with animals. Now, if you don't have the time to commit to a pet, then that is actually very mature for you to admit, group number 1, okay? Because pets are definitely a big responsibility. But if you have friends, family who have pets, try to connect with them. Try to take those pets off their hands, especially if they've got dogs. You know, I am a fellow dog mom. once they have had their dogs for a couple of years, I'm sure they would be happy to let you take that dog on a walk, to take that dog off their hands. I mean, maybe other pets as well. You know, not trying to judge my fellow canines, mothers and fathers out there, but do know here in spending time with animals that there are definitely a lot of animal mothers and fathers who are happy to share their four-legged creatures with you. And if that is not in the picture for you, then go to an animal sanctuary or simply spend time in nature. Plan a trip where you can go to a country where you can see animals and connect with them in their natural habitat. So no matter what your budget is, no matter whether traveling or not traveling is an option for you, group number one, you can connect with animals and find a way to spend time with them, as their energy and their lessons that they can teach you are truly so healing to you and so enlightening, and it makes you see life in the big picture rather than sweating the little things, because you see that animals, they don't, well, a lot of them, they don't have petty arguments. They are not friends with people who continuously hurt them. When you hurt an animal or an animal is hurt by another animal, it takes a lot for trust to be regained, if there's even a possibility for that trust to be regained, especially if it's done on purpose, right? If one animal hurts another on purpose, they're most likely not going to spend time with each other anymore moving forward. They don't give fourth, fifth, 10th chances and continue to get hurt. They naturally avoid pain and suffering. But us as humans, sometimes it's like we just want to walk straight into the blade, straight into the pain. And we have so much we can learn from animals because they intuitively know what they need. They intuitively know what's good for them. And they do that. They follow through on it. And that is where I find that animals have a lot more wisdom than we do, because they have this strong sense of integrity that as humans we can sometimes lose because we're overthinking how things will look like in our community or our society, and we just have this version of ourselves in our head that we're so busy reinforcing rather than focusing on what's truly good for us. So that is where spending time with animals can just give you this big epiphany, this big moment of enlightenment, and almost like a little spiritual awakening, if you will. So group number one, this is your in-depth reading about everything you need to hear and everything that you need to heal. I really hope that you found this reading insightful, and also that you loved how detailed that it was. Thank you so much for spending this divine time and space with me. Know that I cherish you, I honor you, and I can't wait to spend more time with you in the future. I loved vibing with you, and I hope that you felt comfortable and invited into this space. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll speak to you next time. Hello, group number two, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Whispers of Healing Oracle cards in connectivity to the red Jasper crystal. Let's first do a close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is the beautiful red Jasper. This is such an invigorating, high energy type of gem. I would definitely recommend this for anyone who wants to move away from any type of stagnant energy, who wants to bring a little bit more movement into their everyday life by having this crystal by their side. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what you need to hear and what you need to heal. So first up, we've got replenish as well as learning. Okay, so group number two, I can definitely see here that you are given the message that you have to relearn how to replenish. You have to relearn how to sleep, how to wind down, how to chill. Okay, group number two, because you've got no chill. And I mean that in a way of not giving yourself proper downtime and not giving yourself the time that you need every single night in order to rest and get an appropriate amount of sleep. That is one thing that I see in replenish as well as learning. So it is so essential for you to truly be honest with yourself. You know, not everybody can function on 7 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep. And a lot of people who say that they can function on 5 hours of sleep every single night and they kind of use it as a flex, it's actually not true, because they actually either take midday breaks or naps, they're not working as efficiently, or they're trying to catch up sleep over the weekend, which is actually not possible. Okay, you cannot catch up on sleep. Group number 2, it is so essential for you to get good sleep, to get good rest. It is actually directly linked to life expectancy, how well you sleep, okay, how much sleep that you get. And getting 8 to 9 hours is truly essential if you want to be effective, if you want to be productive, and if you want to truly operate as the best version of yourself and heal your body during sleep. Oh, group number 2. Like, this is just, I mean, you saw me shuffling. It's very clear. Sleep is something that you're being told to focus on when it comes to healing, and I am at a bit of a loss for words at the accuracy in this reading for you here today, group number 2, and how we're already starting off on such an accurate note. The cards are speaking for themselves. The universe is here. Your angels are here. They're guiding us, and they are trying to communicate to you that learning more about your ideal sleep pattern is how you can heal yourself mentally, emotionally, physically. An amazing book that I can recommend is by Matthew Walker. It is called Why We Sleep. I believe that is the name, and it is one of the most life-changing things you will ever read. Group number 2, mark my word, and definitely come back and let me know how you like the book. Let me know that that recommendation was life-changing, because I assure you there is no way you will read that book about sleep and not think to yourself, wow, I've been doing it all wrong, or I've got it all wrong all my life. So take this very seriously, group number 2. We definitely have some spirits and angels in the house right now. Next up, we've got vibration. So I do see here within vibration that your entire aura and your entire energetic presence is going to change when you have learned to effectively heal yourself through sleep and replenish yourself. So you're not going to be the same anymore once you have found a way to balance sleep and the things that you want to get done, once you have prioritized sleep, and just overall you will not be able to recognize the old you, because that is really the healing abilities and powers that sleep has. But just think about it, group number 2. Sleep is something that evolution hasn't gotten rid of for human beings, so it must be very important, because otherwise, when we were living in caves and we were living very primal types of lives, like thousands and tens of thousands of years ago, evolution would not have prioritized us sleeping for so many hours in order to function optimally. If not getting enough sleep wasn't more dangerous than cutting sleep short, right? Because if being awake was so necessary to protect ourselves from predators and so on, that evolution would have said, actually more humans survive when they sleep less and they're able to watch out for predators than when they sleep more and they're able to be more alert throughout the day. No, that's not how it worked, right? Evolution designed us to need about 8 hours of sleep. There are so many studies out there that show that even just getting 6 hours of sleep isn't enough for 98% of the population. You need around 8 to 9 hours. And a lot of us think that we are short sleepers, but we are not. Most of us really of the population need 8 to 9 hours. So even if you think you don't need a lot of sleep, you actually do, group number 2. And also keep in mind here that even through evolution, sleep is something that has always remained integral for human function, okay, for human productivity, and for us to reach our highest potential physically and mentally. If not, we would have evolved as a species that only needed 2 hours of sleep or no sleep at all, like some animals that don't need any sleep or virtually no sleep, or who can turn off one half of their brain and function with the other. So next up, we've got butterfly. So I can see here in butterfly that there is a change for the better coming for you, and that is of course, also going to be the outcome of you focusing more on sleep, group number 2, you focusing more on rest, and also understanding that there is nothing worth sacrificing your sleep for. As much as society tries to glamorize not sleeping a lot and overworking and just this hustle culture, there's nothing glamorous about it. And once you come to that realization and to that epiphany, you're going to find that your life changes for the better, because you're no longer in this hamster wheel of just work, 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 and not focusing on sleeping, which makes you tired and miserable and groggy, and you just don't need that. I can see here within the quill that it's all about going back to basics. It's actually very simple to make things complicated, but keeping things simple. Now that is a very difficult task that very few of us have mastered, but keep in mind here that if you can keep something simple, group number 2, then you've really understood it. If you can explain something to a child, then you have truly understood the basics of it. You have truly understood how it works. People who throw around a lot of fancy big words and can't explain something in simple terms, they usually don't really get it. I can see here in the jug that you should just take this as a very lighthearted piece of information as well, to just get back to the basics in all aspects of your life, whether that be how you eat, making sure that you eat things that are as little processed as possible, that are coming straight from the earth, that are made for us human beings and not for other species. Knowing here in the quill that getting back to the basics about just having a simple life and a simple routine every single day, that is so healing during such busy times and during so much technological advancements that it can be so hard for your brain to ever shut off or be able to settle or chill or anything like that. So coming back to basics in a lot of other areas of your life can really help you actually be a lot more productive. I can see here in the frying pan that there are some sort of troubles that we need to talk about and some sort of accusations. So these accusations I can see here may have to do with worry over you thinking that people will point a finger at you saying that you sleep too much, you rest too much, you're taking too much time for yourself. Maybe that's why you're not taking as much sleep as you should. Maybe that is why you're not taking as much time to replenish as you really need to. But I can see here within the bell that it's important for you to remind yourself that, hey, every human being needs a certain amount of time to themselves to regenerate, and there's nothing to feel shameful of when it comes to that. And anyone who shames you about that definitely does not deserve to know how much time off that you're taking. I know if it's a boss, it can be a little bit difficult, group number 2, but if it's anyone else, such as a coworker, a family member, or a romantic partner, tell them to mind their own business, and also ask yourself if this is really the type of energy that you need in your life when you really just need to be replenishing, sleeping, chilling, so that you can learn and take in as much information as possible. I can see here within the harp that great happiness for you, group number 2, definitely comes in a space where you're learning, where you're growing, where you're ever expanding your wisdom and knowledge, and where you feel like you have the freedom to figure out things in your own time. That is one thing that I see in the harp, as well as learning. And I can also see here in the eye that there's some sort of psychic ability that you are able to uncover and that can help you further heal, because the more you're connected to your psychic abilities, the more you're connected to your intuition. I see that this brings great happiness, but you have yet to learn about this ability. But the only way it will show itself or reveal itself is if you're well rested and if you're able to step away from the daily hustle and bustle often enough to center yourself and even hear your intuition, right? Even tune into it and listen to it. Because if you're always going at 100 miles an hour, chances are you've missed your intuition speaking to you on several occasions, and it can be really hard then for you to even know what type of psychic abilities that you have, because you're filling every single moment of every single day with some sort of tasks that you need to do, and you never have time to explore or even discover. So it's important for you to take time for that, and also to clear your energy field. So group 2, clearing your energy field is an important part of healing for you. You can do so by using incense like I did at the start of this video. You can use lavender, different types of sages that are out there. Just make sure that you're using sage that's like ethically harvested. And also know here in clearing your energy field that you can do so with sound. You can do so by humming, breathing, meditation. There are so many different ways, and they're all very affordable or free, group number 2. So these are all ways in which you can heal yourself. That cost next to nothing. All you need is to be disciplined and dedicated. I can also see here that some sweet treats can help heal you, group number 2, but sweet treats that are homemade and that are really healthy. So if you're really into chocolate, there are different recipes you can make with dates, with nuts, where you can create your own type of little sweet treats, like almost like these. I think they're called like power balls. I'm not sure what the real names are, but basically you can create your own little balls or bars made out of beautiful sweet ingredients like dried fruit and nuts that are actually healthy for you but taste like other guilty pleasures. And I can see here that taking more walks can help heal you. It's as simple as that. Getting back to the basics, as we spoke about in the quill, group number 2, healing doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be this big daunting task. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. These are just basic things you can do to take care of yourself, to nourish yourself. We have cleansing your energy field. We have preparing homemade sweet treats, having those on ready in your fridge, in your pantry, so you're making healthy choices and you feel good about yourself. And we also have taking a walk outside, spending time in nature, reconnecting with the earth, breathing. And lastly, we have journaling. Oh, I love your reading, group number 2. This is such a beautiful reading. Journaling is one of my personal faves. I especially love to go back and read older entries of mine and just see where my path has taken me and how I have evolved and developed and changed, and how my interests have shifted as well, and what I was into at a given moment in time. So make sure that you date all your journal entries, group number 2, because for me that's normal. That was kind of like embedded in me going to school here in Switzerland. It's like all of my teachers growing up were like, soon as you receive a piece of paper, you date that piece of paper. But I know it's not a practice in like every single country or for every single person. So definitely date every single journal entry that you make. Just make it a habit. As soon as you write anything, that you add a date to it, and it will also help keep you more organized. Next up, we've got the goddess of creation. And keep in mind, group number 2, we're keeping it simple here, as we spoke about in the quill. So just dating your things, that's a simple habit that can go a long way. The goddess of creation is all about transformation, creativity, and moving into wholeness. Also being unapologetic about your body, about your sexuality, your sensual side, and understanding that you are a sexual being that is worthy of being able to express that, and that there's nothing to feel embarrassed about. I can see in the ocean of eternal love that healing, creativity, and fertility is a part of your healing path. And also just kind of understanding here that healing can often have to do with fertility, right? And also with your organs down there and feeling good about those being healthy as well. So make sure that you get those checked, especially if you are a woman or you just physically have those lady parts. It is very important for you to get those checked every single year to make sure that they're healthy, because there are a lot of things that can develop over time if you're really stressed out, if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not replenishing your energy levels. There are a lot of things in your body where energy can become stuck, and that can manifest into illness or ailments. So see this as a sign to not skip out on your next doctor's checkup appointment. Next up, we've got the sacred journey. So group 2, in the sacred journey, I can see here the part of your healing is also to transform different family patterns and wounds and create something that is unique and new and fresh and leaves behind different type of ancestral trauma. If things such as abuse are a part of your story or a part of your family pattern, breaking that. If, for example, not a lot of education is a part of that, or just overall cattiness, pettiness, not really being a family unit that keeps together no matter what, and those just being empty words, you being the one to change that moving forward. And also here in the ocean of eternal love and connectivity to the sacred journey and the goddess of creation, changing that for your own family when you do have a family, or if you already have a family. Group number 2, just making sure that the lineage that you create doesn't embed those toxic patterns and bring those into the future and pass those down. I can see here within the temptress to remind yourself here that yes, being like tempted or feeling as though there is a seductive nature to another person, it's completely okay for you to notice that. It is completely valid for you to see that, but do know here in the temptress that being tempted to step out of a relationship is definitely something that you need to ensure is spoken about, that you need to ensure is a topic that you are bringing up with a partner that you're with, whether it's a partner you're with now or someone who you are going to be with in the near future. Do know here within the temptress that if someone can be tempted to step outside of a relationship with you, okay, to be with someone else in a physical sense, to be seduced, then that is definitely a sign that they are not the one for you. So if you are worried about that, group number 2, know that for you, healing is to kind of let that person be who they want to be, but not remain their partner, because that is definitely something that puts your health at risk, your physical health at risk. If your person is being intimate with another human being and they do so behind your back and you don't know about it, infidelity, it is not just emotional hurt. There is then also a physical aspect of danger, a physical aspect of them actually doing something to you that will have long-term effects. So it's very important for you to honor your body and to not allow anyone to gaslight you into saying that, oh, well, being seduced or cheating or infidelity, it was just one time, or, well, I didn't really know what I was doing. No, they are putting your health at risk, and that is not okay, no matter what the excuse is. Next up, we have Child of the Cosmos. So in the Child of the Cosmos, know here that the intelligence of the universe lies within you, and you're meant to connect with that. You're not meant to have to deal with petty things, with infidelities, with people who are more interested in lust rather than love. That is actually one of the lowest vibrational frequencies that you can have. I mean, lust is even below anger. It is not a good one. So do know here in the Child of the Cosmos that you're meant to connect on a higher frequency with someone who respects your body and your health. And cracked open, know here that hitting rock bottom and surrendering to the alchemy of life is a way in which you can kind of let go of feeling like you need to control where your life is going, and hitting rock bottom will also just have you begging and pleading for things to get better, no matter how they get better. So hitting rock bottom is actually a big learning experience that seems to be very healing for you as well, group number 2. So if you're feeling like you've been hitting rock bottom or you're close, actually get excited for it, because it's going to be like a big turning point. Then last but not least, we have Earth pulsing. So I can see here that slowing down, spending time in nature, such as camping, such as going on those walks that we spoke about over here, group number 2, ensuring that you're not getting kind of like apartment or house stale. That is super important for you to engage in order to heal. And really coming back to the quill and sleep, for you, you just need to get the basics right, group number 2. You don't need anything fancy or expensive to heal, okay? You got your free tarot readings here on YouTube by yours truly, Vanessa and I, and you've got nature. You can go out, move, breathe, just bring yourself into a different space. You can cleanse your energy. That is mostly free as well. You can journal. You most likely already have all the tools you need for that. And you can cook yourself some sweet treats that are homemade and healthy. And you need food anyways, group number 2. You might as well get some healthy ingredients, try out some new recipes, and make things that really serve you and that really heal you. So for you, it's all about focusing on the basics, not overthinking it, not feeling as though healing has to be this big, elaborate, or daunting journey. It's simple. You have it all right before you. You simply need to make use of it and activate it. So group 2, this is the reading that I received for you. If you made it all the way to the end, leave a rainbow emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you received your reading, you liked it, you vibed with it. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me. And I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Pastel Journey Tarot deck in connectivity to the Black Tourmaline. Let's do a quick close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is the beautiful Black Tourmaline. I really love that the stone is actually a very deep black. It's not like a dark gray, if you know what I mean, group number 3. And it is a very protective and healing stone. So if you're looking for a stone to absorb EMFs, as well as just overall give you a bit of a protective energy, then do look into the Black Tourmaline. So let's move into your reading to figure out everything that you need to hear and everything that you need to heal, group 3. So let's move straight into your reading. We've got the Ace of Pentacles as well as the Judgment card. So I see here that everything that you need to heal is starting off with you letting go of judgment about your ideas when it comes to business, when it comes to the earthly realms, as well as your own judgment for your dreams that you have for your professional life and your career. If you have really big dreams, group number 3, and you find yourself or you catch yourself sometimes doubting those dreams or feeling like, oh, maybe those dreams are too big. I'm not really sure if I can accomplish those. I don't really know if I'm biting off more than I can chew. Then definitely know here in the Judgment and Ace of Pentacles cards that your guides and angels are kind of pushing you to not be so hard on yourself and to protect yourself from those types of thoughts about your own accomplishments and your own potential, because it is so unnecessary, group number 3, and you have such an infinite amount of potential that hasn't even been tapped into yet. You're already judging yourself before you've even tried. Then you're slowing your progress down unnecessarily, and you're slowing your healing down as well. I can see here in the Six of Cups that instead of talking to yourself in a way that makes you kind of question your abilities and capabilities more than necessary, know here within the Six of Cups that your guides and your angels are trying to get you to take care of yourself. Take yourself out on dates, even if it's for a nice little bubble tea or some sort of just beautiful beverage, okay, that makes you feel good. You don't have to do a full meal by yourself in a cafe or restaurant. That can sometimes feel a little bit awkward if you're used to spending time with other people. But simply dating yourself, taking yourself out, reminding yourself that you don't need approval of others or approval of your small self, because your highest self and the version of you that believes in yourself knows what you're capable of and knows how much potential is within you and how much you haven't even tapped into yet that you're still going to tap into. So what you need in order to heal, group number 3, is to let go of negative self-talk, especially about what you can accomplish in the earthly realms, okay? Your job, how much money that you make, what type of home you live in, how much time off that you have, what your health is like, okay? And also how much time you get to spend with friends, family, and doing the things that you love. Stop doubting yourself. Stop putting yourself down on those topics. Next up, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. So see here in the Nine of Pentacles how when it comes to the earthly realms, and by the way, group number 3, the Suit of Pentacles corresponds to the element of earth, and it stands for all things in the earthly realms. So see here in the Nine of Pentacles how we have completed that next task, that next cycle and phase within our life, and you have everything that you could want in the earthly realms, and it's just overall about you now looking forward and striving for the next big goal and the next big accomplishment. But you don't have a worry in the world, whether that is money, whether that is time, whether that is your friend circle. You're just living your best life. And I can definitely see here in the Nine of Pentacles that it is a journey from the Ace to the 9. And in order to get from Ace to 9, you have to let go of the negative self-talk or the doubts that you have about what you can accomplish, and instead give yourself some time to feel appreciated. Even if you don't have anyone to take you out on a date, then take yourself on a date, group number 3. You don't have to wait for anyone to take you out, to wine and dine you, to make you feel special. You can do that for yourself and get to where you're trying to go ASAP. We've got the Seven of Pentacles next. So what you'll also have to do is to learn to simply believe in the seeds that you've planted and to simply learn to believe that they will grow. That is what the Seven of Pentacles is all about. Once you've actually put something into motion, also like leaving it alone. And a great analogy for that, or a great way for you to picture it, is, for example, stocks. You know, they're only like 2% or 0.2%, I don't even know, but the number is tiny of people who actually turn a profit day trading, so trading stocks on like a daily basis. But how people usually make money, and the safest way to make money with stocks, for example, is to just leave those for years and sometimes decades for their value to increase. So literally leaving the seeds that you have planted alone so they can grow, so they can become more valuable. And that is one thing that I can see here in the Seven of Pentacles. But you will only be able to do that once you have healed this type of doubt that you have about yourself as well as your capabilities, okay, yourself and what you're able to do professionally. Because when you're questioning your capabilities, when you're questioning whether you are actually skilled enough, then you are most likely going to mess with the process, or maybe like retract, you know, pull back, take your stocks back, take your seeds back, and then nothing can grow and you can't see anything develop because you haven't given it enough time. Next up, group 3, we have sleep. So a big part of healing for you also has to do with sleeping, with getting enough rest. There are really only such a small percentage of human beings who can truly thrive off of 6 or less hours of sleep every single night, despite a lot of us not getting more than that or feeling like we have to be okay with that little sleep. Let me tell you, group number 3, we need 8 to 9 hours as human beings. If you need the proof, or read Why We Sleep or How We Sleep by Matthew Walker. It is a life-changing book, and you're never going to think of sleep in the same way after you have researched the fact that you actually need 8 to 9 hours every single night to perform at your highest. Next up, we've got seek seclusion. So group 3 in seeking seclusion, taking time alone, away from other people, is a great way for you to heal. But also remind yourself here with sleep that if you're sharing a bed or a home with someone who is loud or who just overall kind of ruins your sleep pattern, it may be time for you to seek seclusion, to move out, to find a better way for you to actually get sufficient rest. Maybe invest in some noise canceling headphones if you cannot move out or change spaces, or if they're unwilling to change their behavioral pattern, and focus on your well-being. So rather than getting annoyed about, say, living near a construction site or not being able to sleep properly because you have a noisy housemate that you're living with, a noisy spouse or something like that, maybe you also have some sort of shift work that you're doing where you have to work till late, and it can be hard to get a lot of sleep in the next day because it's already, daylight and you naturally feel like waking up. Focus on well-being, not on being annoyed about those things or annoyed about exterior circumstances. Find ways in which you can simply adapt to the situation. Like I said, noise canceling headphones. You can invest in some sort of nice face cover where you can cover your eyes to make sure that you're sleeping properly and you don't get woken up by light. Maybe you need some sort of curtains to keep your room more warm, more cozy feeling, and also spend time with positive-minded people. Level up when it comes to your friends. If you have noticed that some of your friends are kind of in a place of stagnation, or they're just constantly reminiscing about the past and everything was better in the past, and high school was the time of their life, but at this point in time you're like in your 40s, you are allowed to move on. Group number 3, okay, you are allowed to move on if you find that the people who you've spent time with in the past have grown a little sour, or have maybe grown into a direction that just isn't very positive minded, because at the end of the day you only have one life to live, and you have to spend time very wisely with people who actually inspire you, right? And that will also encourage more self-love. I can see that in order to heal, a big part of you judging yourself or judging your ideas also has to do with a little bit of the self-love situation here, and maybe not loving yourself, your business self, as much as you can, and maybe not believing in your business self as much as you should. And it could be that there are things that are just by default stacked against you, and there are just overall some natural disadvantages that you have to deal with. And group 3, personally speaking, from like my own experience, I understand what that's like. I mean, I'm a woman of color, I'm also very young, so being in like a space where you have high aspirations for your business and your career, it can be daunting, and there are natural disadvantages that are already stacked against you, especially living in a country like Switzerland. But that can be turned into an advantage. That can be turned into something positive. You don't have to allow for those natural disadvantages where the environment you're in or people surrounding you are already harder on you than they are on others. You don't then need to add to that. Group number 3, you don't need to also start to question your capabilities, okay? You need to do the complete opposite. You need to see the fact that you are different as a big bonus and as what makes you unique, and learn how to leverage it, and learn how to find people who truly like you and who are actually broad-minded and open-minded enough to see your potential. Next up, we've got the hidden blessings. So in the hidden blessings, know here that as soon as you learn to do that, and as soon as you learn to find a space where you can be yourself but also be accepted, there are so many more blessings for you than you ever expected. For me, for example, I knew that I needed a broader space than a little country like Switzerland. So I definitely thought to myself, YouTube has always been a platform I've loved. My channel has existed for over 10 years. I haven't been putting readings on my channel for over 10 years, but I've had it for over 10 years, and I've always wanted to connect with a larger group of people across the globe, with a soul tribe who would get me, who would understand me, who also feels like they are different, or who also is clearly a minority. And once you remove yourself from trying to force yourself to fit into a community that has chosen to make it harder for you, and you actually create your own world and your own community, your own situation, all of a sudden they want you even more. Like, I couldn't even tell you, group number 3, the amount of like invites that I've gotten to, broadcast what I've done here on YouTube, because Switzerland has, I think, less than 8 million people as like population in this country. So being a YouTuber and having like the amount of subscribers or followers on Instagram that I have is not usual. So there are definitely a lot of people who have now become aware of me, but it's just like, I found my soul tribe. I don't need extra exposure, because I know where I am truly appreciated and where I was appreciated from the start. So seek that out for yourself as well, group number 3. In the jewel within a teardrop, appreciation and spiritual and emotional reconnection is definitely what can heal you here. And looking for, again, where you're appreciated, right? Where you're valued, looking for people who see the light in you, who see the potential in you, and aren't just doubting it, people who allow you to be yourself rather than question yourself and add to any insecurities. Know here within perception that the perception that you have of yourself, group number 3, you have to see beyond the veil of illusion and also see beyond kind of planted insecurities that you have. And by planted, I mean planted by other people. If you live in a society or community where people who look like you or who speak like you, who just are anything like you, are already labeled as whatever the label is, you also need to kind of sever that connection and get rid of that illusion that you may have been conditioned to feel about yourself, and to learn to put yourself on your own little pedestal, to put yourself into your own race and not be in a race where you start 200 meters behind everyone else. You can take yourself out of that race and enter yourself into a race where you can actually win. And that is one of those mindset shifts that a lot of us really struggle to make. But when we do, we're able to accomplish amazing new heights and then end up winning those races that we were told we never could. Next up in the sacred journey, we have your life cycles, your family, and a transformational aspect of your life. I can see here that breaking the type of, the type of generational accomplishments that have been in your family, or even lack thereof. Group number 3, just being honest, if you're the first one to accomplish something big in your family, then that is what I'm referring to. You're definitely breaking habits, cycles, things that used to be the norm in your family. It's changing with you and your generation. So maybe even you and your siblings, or you and the people around you in the community. And I do also want you to know here that different type of ailments that your families have been passing down to their kids, or that your ancestors have had, can also be healed through breaking different type of generational habits. And let's put it that way, group number 3. So if your family and your ancestors were in a position where maybe socioeconomically they were a little bit weaker, so they couldn't afford healthcare or good food, then that can definitely pass down ailments. And then it almost looks like it's hereditary, but it's actually not. It's actually just passed down because the lifestyles are so similar from, grandparent to parent to child to grandchild, you know what I mean, just going down the family tree. So a lot of people think that if their parents had a certain ailment, they have to have it too, but only 10% of ailments are actually hereditary, or even less than that. That is what science is figuring out. A lot of the rest of it is really just about your environment as well as your habits. How do you eat? How healthy is the food? How healthy is the water? How many times a week do you exercise? All of those things can have a large impact, and I see that you are completely changing or breaking the mold compared to your family. Spending time with animals is a great way for you to heal as well, group number 3, as well as, being intimate. I'm not going to get into detail about this group 3, but just know that it was here. Just know that my readings are meant to be PG-13. We also have making an altar. So a group 3 and making an altar, definitely also take some time out of your day to create an altar. You don't have to do anything fancy. You can use crystals, stones, ornaments. You can pick flowers, put up photos, depictions of people you look up to. It could be gods, it could be deceased loved ones, and put that on a little altar that you can meditate on, that you can pray to, and that you can connect with and do your practices at. Also, candles are a great way to make a really beautiful altar for yourself that you can come to when you just need a little bit of quiet and sacred space with yourself, and when you're really working on reconditioning your mind to understanding that we live in a different day and age where if you have access to internet, which you do, group 3, that's why you're here, you have so many opportunities and just so many things that you can access that can completely change your life. You can learn new languages, you can build a business, you can become really a completely different social class than your ancestors ever were. You can completely change your mindset and your outlook on life. You can completely change your spiritual identity, or maybe you don't want an identity at all. You can become really, this is the best time to be alive, okay? You can become anyone you want to be. This is the best time to be a human being, group number 3. Remind yourself of that and make use of the fact that we are at such a fortunate time to be alive. Now, group 3, this is a reading that I received for you. I hope that you found it insightful and that a lot of these things hit home, that you could connect with them. Make sure that you leave a little dear emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you enjoyed your reading. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me. I'm sending you so much love as well as even more healing energy, and I'll talk to you next time. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. You chose the Green Witch Oracle deck in connectivity to the Pyrite. Let's do a quick close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is the beautiful Pyrite, also known as the Fool's Gold. This is honestly one of my favorite crystals because it's so shiny and beautiful and luxurious looking. This is also a stone whose energy helps you attract more earthly abundance. So if you're looking to manifest more wealth, manifest more material things, this is a great stone for you to add to your collection. But let's move into your reading, group number 4, in order to figure out exactly what you need to hear and what you need to heal. First up, we've got the Kent pumpkin. So we have to get real about productivity, group number 4, and no longer just pride ourselves about looking busy, okay? It makes a lot more sense for you to spend 4 hours in deep work rather than 8 hours doing work where you're looking busy and your mind is all over the place and you're not properly focused and you never enter a flow state, because truly being at your peak for a couple hours a day is a lot more productive and gets a lot more done than just picking at things here and there and feeling as though it's about how long you're productive for. No, it's about how consistently you're productive, so like on a daily basis, and also how productive you are as in how deep you can go, how much you can enter your own personal flow state. I can see here within the pansy that the more that you focus on being truly productive, not just looking productive or spending long hours at work or on projects, the more you're going to actually be a magnet attracting the things that you desire out of your work and your own personal project. So if you've always wanted to create a beautiful work of art or a successful YouTube channel, a great Instagram account, maybe you wanted to level up and become a CEO or start your own business, the only way you can truly attract that is by focusing on the quality of the work you're putting in and not the quantity. I can see here within the apple that also, again, being disciplined and doing so consistently, right? Having this continuance, not just doing so for 3 days, being productive and organized for 3 days and then quitting it. That is very important, because one thing that I see here about healing for you, group number 4, is that being disciplined is something that doesn't come super easily or naturally to you, especially if your parents were not super disciplined. It can be very hard to find that inner motivation to get up every day at the same time or work out or eat healthily consistently and make it a habit that actually sticks with you for a prolonged amount of time. So that continuance is something where you can find healing, because often when we get on and off of like diets, on and off of lifestyle changes that are beneficial, then we fall off again. We hit breaking points where there's suffering, where we're like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I can't eat unhealthily anymore. I can't go to bed so late anymore and not get enough sleep. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I need a reset. And then we reset and it works out for a little bit. Then we slowly fall off the bandwagon and the whole cycle begins again. And that is like a cycle of suffering that you must break in order to heal. And you have to hold yourself accountable and remind yourself that if you keep suffering in the same way, it can almost become like addictive, because your brain is used to it and expects it. So I see here in the sweet corn that actually making a ritual for yourself every single day of checking in with how disciplined you've been and whether you're keeping up with your habits. That is a really important thing for you to do, group number 4. And I highly recommend that you either use a planner or an app such as the Fabulous one. This is not sponsored at all, group number 4. I just genuinely love to use the Fabulous app every single day. They have sponsored a few of my monthly prediction videos where I had a link and you could get a discount, but this video is not sponsored at all. I just want you to genuinely know that I use that app and I love it. So in the ritual, do you know here that checking in every single day, either writing it in your journal or checking it off on an app, it could even just be your notes app on your phone, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, will keep you going and keep you on track. The fig shows me here that in order to heal, you need to rediscover your vitality, group number 4, and the only way how you can do so is by optimizing your health. And in order to optimize your health, that is a long game. It's not a sprint. You can't take a multivitamin is what I meant to say, group number 4. You cannot take a multivitamin today and then all of a sudden be cured of any aches, ailments, or be in top shape tomorrow, right? And just feel your best. It is definitely something that takes time. Purification takes time. Eating healthily, detoxifying, and also regeneration is something that you have to give time. That is one thing that I see here in the Tarragon. And your guides and your angels want you to know here that healing happens for you when you're able to regenerate. That is what brings vitality. You're not someone who simply needs to just take more vitamins or only focus on eating healthily and exercising. You also need time to regenerate, as in sleep, as in ensuring that you're checking in with yourself every single day, ensuring that you're attracting the right things and not falling off of the trail, falling off the bandwagon. So it's so essential for you, group number 4, to hold yourself accountable. That is healing for you. Discipline is healing. Discipline is freedom. When you fall away from discipline, suffering begins. And that's what we're trying to avoid, group 4. Next up, we've got the devil. So in the devil, I definitely do also want you to understand here that temptations are normal. And that is exactly what the devil stands for. It's all about feeling tempted to go back to the known, to go back to what is easier. I mean, if being truly productive and holding yourself accountable and being disciplined and working out and eating healthily and meditating and this, that, and the third, if all of those things were so easy, everyone would be doing it, right? If no one was addicted to the drama and the suffering that they're used to or that they were taught by their parents to be normal, then everyone would be, a perfect yogi who eats healthily, who has a balanced life, and so on. So do know here in the devil that we all struggle with things, and you are no exception, and you will be tempted to go back to old ways. But the 6 of Swords shows me that now you're actually ready to heal. You've been through some cycles of suffering and perpetuating a version of yourself that you're ready to leave in the past and that you're ready to let go of. And the 6 of Swords shows me here that you're really just kind of like almost at a point where you're not bored, but you're waiting on yourself to be disciplined, to change your life, and to stick to something that has you feeling good and that has you leveling up. So it's really about you taking matters into your own hands. The Emperor is all about being the leader, is all about taking the reins into your possession. It's all about leading yourself to where you want to go. And a good emperor is definitely someone who also plans ahead, who knows when it's time to take a turn, when it's time to do something differently and to move on, when it's time for you to also be hard on yourself and to change things. The Princess of Pentacles shows me here that will help you immensely in any of your professional ventures, okay, in anything that you're trying to do with your career, and that there may possibly also be a big career change for you here when you change the pace of your life and when you take matters into your own hands, when you make that your own responsibility. The Princess of Pentacles shows me here in connectivity to the Emperor that how you can actually change things for yourself is by being fearless and not feeling as though you are not going to find a foothold in the professional world and to remind yourself that you have really fun energy. You have energy that is filled with innovation, and that is much appreciated. And if it's not appreciated as much as you would like for it to be at your place of employment or at the work that you're doing right now, there's nothing wrong with changing that, and there's nothing wrong with leaving and with being your own boss moving forward. I do see here in the Four of Swords group 4 that stagnation is really what you want to avoid right now. Stagnation is something that is kind of like the death, if you will, and everything is moving, right? In the universe, everything is ever changing, ever moving, so it makes sense how stagnation correlates to death in a sense, correlates to things not progressing as they should. And I do also want you to know here in the Five of Cups that it's important for you to take those matters into your own hands now in order to avoid being shocked a couple months or years from now at how much you could have accomplished if only you would have gotten moving and if only you would have been consistent. And it's crazy how when you get used to things and you make things a habit, how quickly time actually flies and you're able to say that you've done it for years. Like being able to say that I have only had a plant-based diet for, I think I'm going on like 8 years now. See, I've even lost count, group number 4, and that is a healthy choice that I have made for myself, that I knew was the best for me. And you have other healthy choices that you can make for yourself that once they become second nature and a habit, you'll lose track of how long you've done it for, but then you can think back and be like, hey, I've been on a plant-based diet for like 7 or 8 years, and the purification that I've been able to do in that time, you can't compare that to doing it for 7 or 8 days, right? And it's had a ripple effect on the rest of my life. So it's really like this building, and that is what I want you to see here in the Seven of Pentacles. The Suit of Pentacles corresponds to anything in the earthly realms, your health. Okay, so building on your health, putting healthier and healthier habits into the mixture in your everyday life, making those the new norm, and building on the purification. Also building when it comes to your business. You may start by just waking up really early and creating a to-do list and crossing off 3 things every single day that you want to accomplish. Then you may move into being more effective in your daily tasks and setting timers, making sure you get them done first thing in the morning. The most important things are done and you can stay on top of everything. So it's all about building, and it's all about little changes, right? Those atomic habits, for all of you who have read the book Atomic Habits or heard of it, little changes that can turn into atomic habits and actually be really life-changing when done every single day. We've got the Chariot, which also kind of feeds into the Emperor a little bit as well, group number 4. So taking matters into your own hands, steering your life in the direction that you want it to move into, as we have here in the Chariot with this mummy kind of like driving this coffin. So do know here that you can be in the driver's seat as well, but you have to get into it, right? You can't just be in the passenger seat and have no one at the steering wheel. It's important for you to drive yourself through life and to the destinations that you want, and not allow for other people to get into your driver's seat and push you onto the passenger seat. Next up, we've got self-love. Group number 4, in order to heal, you definitely need to delve a little deeper into the self-love aspect of taking matters into your own hands. If you have been allowing people to make decisions in your life for you for a while, or you've kind of always backed down when someone who seems like a figure of authority gives you tips that you don't really want to follow through on, but you just feel pressured to, those are things that you are being called to look into and to ask yourself what your intention is when you do that. Is your intention to please others or to please yourself? You know, chances are if you're allowing for other people to make big decisions in your life, your intention is to please them, not to please yourself. And sometimes in life, I don't know why people call it selfish. It's actually not selfish at all. You have to please yourself because at the end of the day, this is your life. This is your birthright to please yourself. Everyone is entitled to pleasing themselves, no matter what anyone else may think of that. In the dog far away, I can see here that a distant friend is thinking of you, someone who you haven't been in contact with in a while. They're thinking fond thoughts of you. They're wanting to hang out with you again, to do something with you. So hit them up if you already have an intuitive feeling of who this may be. Reconnect with them, rekindle the relationship. It'll be good for you. I can see here within the club that the people who used to be able to make decisions in your life for you, they will try to make you do things against your will even more when you show that you're no longer just going to kind of lay on your back and allow for other people to push you to your limits. And that could be a teacher, it could be a boss, it could be a coworker, it could be a family member who always kind of has unsolicited advice about what you should do. And when you don't want to take the advice, they kind of like scare you, right? They kind of manipulate you into thinking that their opinion is really what you should be doing. So I can see here in the funnel, they're going to be really frustrated when you stop taking their opinion into such deep consideration that you end up following through on their opinion instead of yours. And they're going to, in the end, have to learn their lesson the hard way and have to learn that you're not someone who is going to continue to be controlled. And it's so important for you to really stay consistent with this and to not fall back into old ways of allowing certain people to have more control over you than they should have. I can see in the goldfish that that will lead to an increase in material wealth and spiritual growth for you because you feel more free, you feel more like yourself, you feel like you have your sovereignty back and like you don't have to ask for permission to do anything in your life and you don't have to check in with anyone. And that is just really such a truly freeing feeling to have. Next up, we've got the grapes for you, group 4. And in the grapes, I can see here that you will find that you feel more like going out and having fun and having a good time rather than focusing so much on what other people's needs are, especially if you have been used to pleasing someone else's needs for years. You can easily forget about your own needs. But in order to heal group 4, you have to put those at the epicenter again and to know here that, yeah, that may cause some temporary problems with people who are used to you being their butler, their doormat, their everything. But you can't live life like that, group number 4. You have to free yourself of that burden because that person most likely isn't living their life like that either. So why should you keep that in mind? Then last but not least, we've got the quill for you, group number 4, which speaks of getting back to the basics. You have basic needs that you need to meet, group number 4, and stop neglecting those, okay? Whether it's healthy food, whether it's exercise, whether it's some mental health days, or even treating yourself to a day off, a day away from everything, whether you're a parent or, you know, just someone who has a lot of responsibility. It doesn't matter what age you're at. You need to feed that basic human need to recharge, to get good sleep, to be able to just regenerate, as we spoke about in New Tarragon. And it's very easy to make simple things complicated in life, especially in the day and age we live in. So try to come back to the basics and try to romanticize simple pleasures and moments in your life, such as spending time in the mornings just having a tea or a cup of coffee and staring out of a window in your living space and just enjoying that moment and enjoying what life has to offer you in that moment. And even if it feels like nothing, just enjoy the fact that life has life itself to offer to you and the ability to make an amazing day for yourself and make new amazing memories. So group number 4, this is the reading that I received for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little pumpkin emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you are here and that you found this reading insightful. Know that I'm so grateful to have shared this divine time and space with you, so thank you for being here. Know that I'm sending you so much love, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions.